Hey, we're here at Bungie Studios in Kirkland, Washington, and we are about to go through the legendary map pack with multiplayer designer Lars Bakken. So lay it on us, man. What's going on?
Right, let's take a look here. So this is Blackout, the first map of the 3 in the legendary pack.
This should be familiar to people, right?
Very familiar to people who played Halo 2. This is a remake of Lockout. And what we did when we first started looking at Lockout to remake it, we always knew we were going to do it as part of DLC. So it was tough to bite our tongue when people, were constantly asking for it. But when we first started looking at the geometry, the artist Paul Russell, who worked on this and did an amazing job, he thought, why not? Let's try something different in terms of the visuals. Let's not just revisit up-resed Forerunner. Let's do something completely different. Let's try a human Antarctic, station that's, a mile off the ground. You've got these crazy icebergs in the background and the moon, and he just wanted to go for a complete different visual style, just so you didn't feel like you were playing in a up-resed version of the same the same map. But one thing that we were very conscious of was that Lockout was a fan favorite. It's easily, from looking at our statistics, the most played map in Halo 2, bar none, through custom games and matchmaking and everything. Like, people just love Lockout. And so we had, we knew we had this great opportunity, but we also didn't want to change very much. So there are very little changes. And actually, the layout of the entire level is completely the same. We've added, the only things that we've changed are, we actually added a little more space into some of these interior rooms, so combat isn't quite so tight. But other than that, nothing else has really changed.
You dropped some weapons.
We've dropped some weapons. So the weapons are actually basically the exact same setup as in Halo 2. So you've got your BR tower, you've got your sniper tower, and you'll see, fans will notice that when I pop that, you actually see the sniper come back over here to BR tower, which is kind of a high-level strategy in Halo 2, and when we work to try and keep those kind of things in there as well. So everything is actually set up the same down to game type, so the flag spawns in the same place as it did on Halo 2, the hills are in the same place. It was very important to us, and we know it's very important to our fans that we keep it as close as possible. So, other than the kind of huge graphical and visual upgrade, it still plays just like Lockout, which is awesome for someone who's a Lockout fan. And
there's actually something that we'll touch on a little bit later, but there's a little bit more to this level if you go into Forge mode.
That is true. Right now I'm in Slayer, and I can, do you want me to break out and go into Forge? Or
we can do that at the end, but maybe just kind of let people know.
So, we know from people that have been messing around in Forge and Halo 3, they've definitely given us feedback on the kinds of things they want. And one of the things was, we're giving them these big pieces of geometry to kind of form their own bases and areas that they can run around on. And one of the issues was that these things were always moving around and they weren't immobile. And so we did a bunch of research and we figured out how to kind of change these objects around. And if people have played in Foundry, which was in the Heroic map pack, they know that we kind of solved some of those issues. So we made a real concerted effort in the Legendary pack to make a lot of objects that are completely immobile. So once you actually place it down in Forge, you can't move it anymore. So it effectively becomes a piece of hard geometry. So we add, in this map in particular, in Blackout, we actually added a door that you can place in any of these door frames, and it shuts off whole sections of the map if that's what you want to do, which is pretty cool.
Sweet. Now let's hop to the next map.
All right.